Hey, what's going on? Christian Carter from Radius, and today I'm answering a question that I get all the time. It's essentially goes something like this: how do I buy my parents' home? Right. So the parents are getting ready to downsize, maybe move to Florida or something like that. They've got a good amount of equity built up in their home, and they wanna sell it to their child at a good price. So, how do you buy your parents' home? It's actually really, really, really simple. So, more importantly, today we're going to be going over how to buy a home from a family member with zero money out of pocket. It's doable, and it's actually really quite easy. So, we're going to go through two things today. Hopefully, keep it short for you guys. We're going to go over a quick example, and then after the example, we're going to go out over the steps and how we go about this process, right? All right. So, first of all, let's go over the example. So, and just to make it easy, let's say that I am buying my parents' home. So my parents are selling their home to me, right? So my parents have a home and it's valued at $400,000, right? So it's worth 400 grand. My parents owe $100,000 on the property, right? That's what their mortgage amount is, 100 grand. I'm going to buy my parents' home for $300,000, okay? Now, here's where the no money out of pocket comes in. And you can either do this or not do that. You can do a portion or not a portion. It's totally up to you and the sellers, most likely your parents. But under this scenario, right, I want to do a 5% down payment on the purchase price of $300,000. So that 5% down payment would be $15,000. However, I don't want to pay for that out of pocket. So my parents are going to give me a gift of equity for $15,000. So that covers the down payment. So we're good there. Now we get to closing costs, right? So let's say there's $5,000 worth of closing costs. Again, I don't want to pay any money out of pocket in order to buy this home. So my parents are also going to apply a $5,000 seller credit, right? So they're essentially covering the down payment and they're covering my closing costs so I can buy this property with zero money out of pocket. So let's go through the numbers one more time. Sale of the home, they sell the home to me for $300,000. They still owe 100 grand, so let's subtract the 100 grand from the 300 and we get $200,000. Now we apply the gift of equity, so we subtract the 15 grand from 200 grand, we get 185. And then finally, we subtract the $5,000 seller credit. So we come up with $180,000. So those are the cash proceeds. So my parents will walk away from this deal with $180,000 in their pocket, even though they sold the home for, $300,000. Hope that makes sense. Also, real quick, there's no attorney fees in this equation. You're talking, I don't know what the seller attorney fees would be, maybe like $2,000. But that's gonna vary attorney by attorney and state by state. Now, let's go through the steps, right? So how do you actually put this into motion, right? And essentially what we're doing is we're just reverse engineering what we did on the right side of the board here. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna identify how much cash the sellers want to walk away from the closing table with, right? So they're going to sell their home. How much cash do they want? In this example, well, my parents wanted $180,000. Number two, identify how much the sellers want to contribute to the buyer's down payment and closing costs, if any, and add those together. So real quick, 9 times out of 10, when we're doing these transactions between family members, 9 times out of 10, the sellers, the parents, will contribute to the buyers, the son or daughters, down payment and closing costs. All right, so back on track. Identify how much the sellers want to contribute to the buyer's down payment and closing costs. Again, in this example, the parents are gonna contribute $5,000 to the son or daughter's closing costs, and then they're gonna contribute a $15,000 gift of equity for the down payment. So you just add those together. Again, step one. Parents want to walk away from the table with 180 grand in cash. Add the seller credit, which is 5 grand, we get to 185. Add the gift of equity, the down payment, which is 15 grand, you come up with $200,000. Step 3, add the mortgage payoff amount, right? So we're at right here, 200 grand. How much is the mortgage payoff? In this example, it's $100,000. So 200 plus $100,000, we get $300,000. That's how we reverse engineer to figure out how much we're going to sell the home for. Step 4, we're going to draft and sign a purchase and sale. Again, varies state by state, but you're probably going to have to reach out to an attorney for this. But draft and sign a purchase and sale. Step 5, start the mortgage process. And then step 6, final kind of step here, you close on the home. There's a lot of stuff that does go on between the mortgage process and closing on the home, but that's for another video. But yeah, it's really, really simple. Buying a home from your parents is not as difficult as people make it out to be. And you can also do it like we showed in this example. You can do it with no money out of pocket, which is really, really awesome. Hope you enjoyed this video. Reach out to me anytime with any questions or other video topics. I love doing these videos. I love answering questions, and have a great day. See ya.